afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for taking time from your busy schedule to be here with us tonight. I'll start off with telling you a little bit about myself, and then I'll go into where I am now, and I'll finish by telling you where I want to be. I am Luis Rubio. I was born and raised here in Port Lavaca, lifelong resident, just for the exception of 10 years that I lived in Houston. I worked at the Nordstrom at the Houston Galleria. We moved back to Port Lavaca in 2017, and I wasn't involved in politics, but I knew that there was an opportunity for improvement, so to speak, in my particular precinct. There were some things there that I didn't really like, but I wasn't sure, I wasn't experienced enough to get involved, but I am now. And where I am now, I am an instructional aide at JR Elementary with special education children. And speaking of education, we are overstressed as instructors and teachers. But what I'm trying to get to is the ability to communicate with our little Hispanic children that can't understand the English language as well, and they're hesitant to try to move forward because they don't understand where they're going. So I was in a position that I could speak Spanish, so they put me in with the Spanish kids, and we saw a difference in their grade levels coming up because we could communicate. Now this gets me to where I want to be now with my constituents. I am Hispanic, I am bilingual, and my people in my precinct, a lot of times they may feel like that little child that doesn't want to speak up because they don't understand the language and they're hesitant to step forward. But I want to change that. I want to be able to let them know that I can speak the language, I understand where they're coming from, and we're going to do things to get these folks registered with my campaign manager here, Candace. We plan on doing some things to get everybody registered, not just the Hispanic people, but everybody involved in my precinct. And hopefully they'll vote for us, for me, and I can communicate with them in Spanish or the language that they feel comfortable with. It makes a big difference when you can communicate with someone that understands you, where you're coming from, and perhaps maybe have a little bit more compassion for you, knowing that we understand each other. It's my goal to win this election and service our constituents honestly, fairness, and with equal opportunity for everything that goes on in the courts, from landlord disputes to traffic violations to setting bonds. I would look at the individual based on their criminal history, their experience, their age, their background, and come to a conclusion that would be fair and honest to the families involved, not just because who they are or whose kid they are that you're going to just get a PR bond and you're on about your business. I want to be able to service everyone fairly, and I want to have the office held to the highest esteem with honesty, fairness to all, equality, and be a transparent justice of the peace, that we're not hiding anything. I don't want to be caught into a situation where I owe someone a favor. That's not going to happen because that's just not going to happen. I don't operate that way. Even in school today, I know some of the parents of the kids and they're not doing very well. And sometimes I feel like, maybe we could change the grade a little bit, but we can't do that. I won't do that. I won't give myself in to those situations where they owe me instead of me doing the job that I want to be elected to do. And we have some campaign events coming up. Tomorrow we're doing a block walk with Josh. We have some literature on the table, and we plan to do a voter registration drive sometime in April or May, and try to get all these people to register and vote. And hopefully, doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. I voted both ways because I choose a person that fits what I'm looking for. And I'm hoping that people see the difference in me that I can do a better job or just as good of a job and get the job done properly. So I ask for your vote. If you have friends that are in your precinct or in my precinct, if you can convince them to vote for me, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So if y'all have any questions that you would like to ask, I'll be happy to try to answer them for you. If not, thank you all again for being here with us. Thank Josh and Thomas Garcia for making the trip to Port Lavaca. Any questions?
Okay.